Hello, my battalion and viewers. I'm the Knight of Arcane, and today we'll be turning indie horror characters into fantasy armor. Bit of a random idea, but wanted to work with a bit of a variety of characters today, and since it's October and Spooky Month, it felt like a good idea to theme it around indie horror games. I did try to use someone from Doors at first, but instead chose someone else from a game that came out this year, which came out really good. Maybe later we'll try the Doors character in this, but who knows. Anyways, let's check out our indie horror fantasy armor, shall we?
So, you ready to get to work, Amelia?
What happened to your voice?
My voice? What's wrong with it?
It sounds different.
It's always sounded like this.
No, it hasn't. It was 100% different last time. Wait, but we see each other every day. Why am I just noticing it now?
You good?
No, not really. But that isn't anything new.
If you say so.
So who or what are you going to tell me you turned into fantasy armor today?
Well, how about I start with the armor I made for Lady Poppy of the Ludwig Kingdom?
Okay, Poppy's Playtime then. I'm assuming she had red hair and a pale AF complexion with freckles?
You are correct. She's a noblewoman of the kingdom. It's actually quite famous for the children's books of the Kingdom of Play. A retelling of the land's fairy tales for a more kid-friendly reading.
Like my world did with the Brothers Grimm fairy tales.
Ah, you're familiar with their Beast Chronicle series and retellings of myths, legends, and truths?
They're a lot different than how you describe them.
Okay then. Back on track though. Poppy needed a suit of armor since an evil wizard is trying to take over the kingdom, using the monsters that roam the lands and twisting them into something evil to attack the good people of the Ludwig Kingdom.
Sure, I totally believe her, she says sarcastically.
Anyways, something about Poppy screamed doll to me.
'Cause she is one.
So I made her a combat dress, with armor plates on the hips and coming down the front and back of her body for protection on top of the dress's skirt. Made the shoulders a bit poofy, but still put some armor around them, and did some light armor on the forearms, legs, and body for easy mobility.
That's interesting. Don't see how a dress could give good protection compared to actual armor, and you enchanted the cloth to be as durable as normal armor, didn't you?
Yep, made it all blue and gray to help make her red hair pop, and made some metal hair clips to put her hair into pigtails, helping with the doll idea.
Did she make any comments on how doll-like you made her?
She did, and Poppy thought it looked cute and unassuming.
Red flag.
She left to go find a party of adventurers to help her slay the evil that's threatening her kingdom, and what's with that look?
I don't trust her. Until I see how the game actually ends, I'm not going to believe she's a noble warrior trying to stop the actual evil.
Okay, but does she look evil to you?
Besides the fact her dress reminds me a bit of Saber from the Fate series, you ever heard of the phrase, never judge a book by its cover?
I am.
That 100% applies here. Going to guess this will be some sort of Poppy Playtime as fantasy armor story. So what's next? A purple cat-like armor, something blue and fuzzy, a tall pink mommy-looking warrior who's our type.
Nah, none of that right now. Hey, is your nose bleeding?
Huh. I guess it is. Weird. How long has it been bleeding?
Since you were guessing all these stories would relate to Lady Poppy,
I wonder why that happened.
no idea. But speaking of purple animals, the next person I made armor for did want it to be purple and based off an animal.
Was it a bunny or a wolf?
It was actually a raccoon.
An Indigo Park character, along with Poppy. Indie horror armor it is then.
Sir Rambleston the Thief, he called himself. A rogue stealing from the rich.
And giving it to the poor?
Not sure. He mentioned that once, but he did just keep rambling about different things. Some sounding so fake that it's hard to tell what was true and all.
So not a Robin Hood type thief then.
Which one?
What? Nope. Not asking today about this. Tell me more about this knockoff Sly Cooper and Disney Robin Hood in fantasy armor.
Sure. Like I said, he wanted it raccoon-inspired, and asked for the helmet to match the general shape of their head with ear-like details, and a mask detail etched into the helmet itself, along with a separate part to cover his eyes.
Wait, was only his eyes covered, but not his mouth?
Why, yes. He asked for that, and it felt on brand with how much he talked.
Well, he's a prideful one.
Anyways, he had me make his armor purple, with a few parts being red like the bandana I gave him, and the inside of his purple cape.
Uh-huh.
He asked for a striped scarf to tie around his stomach, with the extra strands flowing down and around him.
Almost like a raccoon's tail?
Almost like a... Yes. He also needed a new bag so he could carry his loot, and made a nice stitched up looking striped one for him to use.
He's going all in on the raccoon branding, it seems.
A bit, yeah. Gave him some nice daggers, and he was on his way after paying me.
That's good. Did he pay in stolen goods?
Not sure, but pawned them off right away to make sure I didn't have any stolen wares on me, just in case.
Yeah, that's a smart call. Like, he's also probably the antagonist for his game, but compared to Poppy, this makes more sense, I guess? I don't know.
By the way, what did you mean by mommy looking earlier?
Think Minasu, but a bit more mature, has probably had at least one kid in her life, and you pretty much got a MILF.
What?
Nothing, never mind, forget everything. That sure looks cool. Just a quick reminder, we have a Patreon set up. It's a great way to help support the channel. As a patron, you get access to monthly art polls, early access to content, and monthly art-related rewards, starting with character headshots. So if you can, head over to our Patreon to become a patron today, starting at $3 a month. Every little bit helps. Anyways, now back to the fantasy armor. What was that?
I didn't say anything. Didn't get a chance to after you asked me to forget what a MILF was?
Why do I keep hearing these random things all the time?
No idea. Should I continue?
Yes, please. And never mention a MILF again if you can.
Okay, sure. The next person I helped with was a young lady. Very sweet. Liked scary stories, and wanted to look like a Reaper.
That's a weird juxtaposition between cute and sweet and literal death.
Yeah, but I think it worked. Wanted it to look all spooky and have the dress, cloak, and sleeves look a bit torn like some form of haunted specter.
That's definitely spooky. I think my nose is bleeding again.
The armor was a bit simple. being in the blue-gray range and mostly on her torso, shoulders, forearms, and lower legs, going well with the red of her cloak and the blue of her hair.
I'm sure this is someone from a horror game, but probably one I'm not that familiar with. Going to guess you gave her a giant scythe?
Yep, made the handle long and gnarly looking, and gave the blade some notches in it for the spooky factor.
Yeah, though the picture you're painting makes this more cute than scary.
Yeah, I can see that. She stayed during the whole process, asking about metalworking and forging, and it was a nice chat.
Probably better than ours.
I think these are fun.
Even with the outbursts I make in response to you making armor of fictional characters from my world?
Sure. It's interesting to learn something new and weird like this.
Glad to know I'm not a burden. By the way, what was her name?
Oh yeah, never got it.
What?
Yeah, she never gave it. Plus, once I was finished and handed it over to her, she gave me a nice smile, thanked me for the armor that would make her job a little easier, before her skin turned blue and she just seemed to vanish in thin air.
So, you're telling me you made a suit of armor for a ghost?
No, I think I made a suit of armor for a Reaper of Souls.
Now I know why my nose bled when I said it was definitely spooky. Because it was definitely spooky with an uppercase S.
I guess so.
What the fuck? Okay, so you've mentioned one from Poppy's Playtime, one from Indigo Park, and one from Spooky's Jumpscare Manor. I think, following all this logic, this last armor should be the king of indie horror franchises and tackle someone from FNAF.
Fun. What?
Sorry, Five Nights at Freddy's.
No, this armor isn't one of the 5 Knights of Frederick's Court, but does come from the Fazfun Kingdom.
I hate all of what you just said right now.
I made this armor for a younger knight, though named Frederick like the great hero of the kingdom. A very popular name there.
I assume Foxy, Roxanne, Chica, Montgomery, Bonnie, Charlotte, Evan, Scott, Gregory, Susan, Jeremy, Fritz, Vanessa, Gabriel, Cassidy, Cassie, Michael, Elizabeth, Henry, and William are also popular names there in some form.
Some do sound familiar, but the name William is actually banned from being used to name a child born in the kingdom, due to an evil wizard that terrorized the kingdom of the same name before he was kicked out and formed the domain of Kaftan.
Okay then. Let's just move on.
Sure thing. He's not the first Frederick from Fazfun I made armor for, just the most recent. And wanted something new, something bold, something
Glamorous?
correct. So he asked for orange armor, with lower legs and parts of the broad, single spike looking pauldrons in red, with some bright blue,
Cyan,
on the knees, along with on the helmet's plume, and some parts of the helmet, with red outlining them.
Still has the face makeup, even if it's on a medieval helmet. Did it look like a bear?
No, not sure if I should have. Other Fredericks have, so I think this one wanted to be different. Or not have it until he became a greater knight. Or something. But the helmet is the best part of the suit. He did want a simple and single lightning bolt on his tunic in that same blue. Think he wanted it simple for the same reason.
Did he have a squire named Gregory?
He did.
Of course. Probably on the run from the rest of the security breach-inspired warriors.
I do think he was guarding something that needed to get to a safe location, and fight some servants of the wizard from Kofton. So, probably what you're talking about. Here it is.
Question?
Yeah?
Why do the shoulder pauldrons look like the man's nut from Danganronpa?
Huh. I can see it.
What do you mean you can see it?
Oh, there's a nut from Japan that acts as an aphrodisiac that people outside of the country have called the man's nut. Though it is said it can be used no matter what gender the person who ingests it is. Only called that since it was men who used it first, before any women supposedly tried it themselves.
Really? I shouldn't be surprised, but whatever. I'm ready for work.
Don't forget training.
Alright, forgot about that. Though it surprisingly has been getting easier to do though. So I guess it's working.
That's the spirit. You'll be slaying dragons in no time.
Yeah, no. Not anytime soon with this girl. Even if I'm in your armor.
Suit yourself.
Slaying dragons, though. I guess younger me did like to envision themselves doing that. And saving the princess. Though I guess there's quite a few parts that differ from those dreams. Heh. Younger me wouldn't understand at the time. And wouldn't blame them. Maybe I can make that dream true, though. And that was indie horror characters as fantasy armor. Spooky was an interesting choice, but I like what I did with her. But what did you think of them? Let me know in the comments, along with other horror games I should turn into fantasy armor, other series I should turn into fantasy armor, and other things I could do with the series I worked with in this video. For more fantasy armor, we have when we turn Godzilla Kaiju and My Singing Monsters into them, along with one showing up in both the Ben 10 and the Amazing Digital Circus variety episodes. And for something with FNAF, we have when we put the animatronics into the Mortal Kombat universe. And if you like what you saw, then leave a like, and subscribe to join our growing little Arcane town, to be in the know for future videos, plans, and polls. Anyways, thank you for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Later!